Greetings, everyone. Today is Friday, November 12th, 2021, and this is the Evan Studios weekly podcast number 28. And today we're going to come with number 29. And today we're going to come up with something a little different. Today we're going to do a type of A.M.A. And for those that are unfamiliar with the setting, is pretty much we let the audience ask us as many questions as they want regarding the games or something else, us personally on and why did we decide to develop, and all crazy shit that you guys can come up with. So I'm your host Stark, and with me I have my co-host and co-developer Isaac.
Hi everyone.
So yeah, we also want to talk about the development of Liningaris and Journey Abroad a little bit. But yeah, we want to keep the setting of the Ask Me Anything going on. So first of all, I want to appreciate and thank everybody for listening to the podcast. Those that are watching live right now, family, Fossern, N, everyone else that is not typing in the chat. And even the guys that are watching this later on because they couldn't listen to it live, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. And let's get right to it. We have a lot of questions to answer today, so we're going to try and reply to as many as we can in as much time as we can. And let's start with the questions that Zelmate made, because he made a lot of questions. Sadly, he made a few questions for Muko and Tiger Lila, but I asked them if they wanted to be part of the podcast today, or if not, if they could reply to the questions that were made, but they didn't leave a reply, so it probably means they are sleeping right now, which kind of answers one of the questions that he made regarding how easy it is to deal with the difference in schedules and hours, and us being from different countries, different time zones. Yeah. So first of all, Zelmate said, I have a few questions for the podcast team, which I probably know the answers to, but it's maybe for the fans. I'm asking on their behalf instead. Will we see Robert's new stat mechanic Suspicion before Fleeting Iris is put on the shelf? This one is actually easy to reply. The Roberts mechanic for Suspicion is a patch on its own. It requires a lot of different endings, and it's pretty much just an extension of the routes and the free roam scenes that we have currently. As such, if we don't work on those, there's no point to making the Roberts Suspicion stat fully functional, because you don't get to see the endings, you don't get to see the dialogues to which that leads. So it's something that we will only be able to come back to later down the road. But I also feel that a lot of people think that this is just us just putting Fleeting Iris on the shelf and just not caring about it. When everything that we have done so far, as stated otherwise, Fleeting Iris as a project probably has ran its course a long time ago, and from a financial standpoint, it's probably a lot better to just move on to other games, and it's been like that for over a year, close to 2 years now. So money has never been our biggest concern, and it has never been the reason why we do what we do. It's just that right now it feels like it's not only us that are getting burned out by Fleeting Iris, but also the community. People want to see new games. People want to see improved art style, and I feel like this is kind of like taking a break in a relationship, in which we're going to put Fleeting Iris to the side a little bit. We're going to focus on our other games. For Unlucky Chronicles, we're going to focus on Bloodlust, and for Dreamville Saga, we're going to focus on Journey Abroad. And this will give people time to miss Fleeting Iris, and then when we come back and we start making the side patches and whatnot, people will receive it in another light, and people will be more looking forward to it. And I feel like it's gonna hit different, just from us, taking a little break from Fleeting Iris, and people actually taking a little break from Fleeting Iris. And I think that when we do release, because um, it's literally putting it on a shelf, but we there's definitely plans to go back and pick it up. This is not like let's put it to the side and never mention it again. That was never our goal for Fleeting Iris. It was just like when we do the polls for the patches, in which we ask people what do you want to see more or what do you want to see first. But eventually we want to get back to it, and we want to work on it. Uh, we are not abandoning Fleeting Iris whatsoever. We are just, uh, like we said, financially it has run its course for a long time. I think a lot of people are getting burned out by Fleeting Iris, and I think that by the time that we get it back, that people, will be able to see it in a new light, and people will be able to appreciate it more. Not that it's not appreciated now, but it's like you don't miss your water until the well runs dry. And I feel like Flaming Iris, it's going to be something that it's like bittersweet when we drop it, because in a sense, story wise, it has been finished, but eventually people will start to miss it, and then we're gonna come back with it, and then you know we will have a new energy when we work on the game, and we can do justice by the routes that we want to release, because they are all so exciting and so different from everything that we have right now. And the since the community hasn't played the game in a long time, it's probably going to hit different as well. So we are definitely going to put it in the shelf as soon as we finish the beach patch and the Shota patch. But we definitely have plans to go back and pick it up, and there will always be the Halloween patch, and there will be the Christmas patch that we want to get to eventually. So yeah, we are definitely going to get to it eventually. But yeah, to us, giving the community what they want, or giving the community something fresh and something exciting, has always been the main reason why we do what we do. And when it comes to Fleeting Iris, right now, as you guys can see, we are taking our time to do the last patch, because we want to make justice for it. And given that we have other games that we want to work on, it will be in our greater interest to finish this patch, regardless of how good it was in terms of quality. Uh, it will be best for us to release it as fast as we can. And instead of doing that, we are taking our time to make sure that the quality for this patch is as good or better than anything that has been released so far. And that, I think, that shows how much we care about the game, and how we want to leave in a high note, instead of just putting out something rushed just so we can put Fleeting Iris in the shelf and just focus on the other games. I think there's a time for everything, and right now the time is to focus on Fleeting Iris and focus on Fleeting Iris EF. Release two amazing patches, and then move on to Bloodlust and Journey Abroad. And eventually, when we pick up Fleeting Iris, we want to have a lot of good energy, and we want to look forward to working the game again, and release amazing patches. So I think eventually we're going to get to it, but for now, it's definitely going to be put to the side for a while. So there's another question: is there still a plan to implement voice for A.M.A and perhaps other characters as well? Yeah, but we only want to do this once the game is like 100% finished, because there's still a few routes that we want to change the tone of how it plays out a little bit. And to me, lining sentences that are going to get rewritten later on, it's just a waste of money. It's a waste of effort. It's a waste of time. There's really no reason to do it. We want to finish Fleeting Iris once it's 100% finished, and then we want to have it professionally proofread. And then once we realize this is exactly the text we want to have in the game, then we want to voice act it. Although initially our plan is only to voice A.M.A, there has been talks, and we have looked for voice actresses to voice other characters such as Adriana, having the voice actress for A.M.A also voice Fujiko, a little different, but voice Fujiko. voice Alexandra and characters like that. And we are just deciding if we're just going to voice act some key sentences, or if we want to voice act the whole thing, which will probably make the game absolutely huge. Um, but yeah, there are definitely still plans to do it. We just don't want to do it on an unfinished state. Sound follow-up question. Perhaps you could elaborate a bit how sounds, voices, mods will be implemented into the game, if at all. We just play a sound effect at the same time you read the line. It's that simple. And then if you skip the line, we cut the sound effect so that you are not hearing the character talk whatever sentence she said in the beginning of the dialogue by the time you are reading the last sentence. So um, when you press enter, you will get the text dialogue. The character will be voice acting it, and if you press enter again to skip to the next line, the character starts talking the next line. So yeah, that's pretty much how we're going to implement. It's not hard to implement voice acting. To be honest, it's just going to make the game a lot bigger. Another question: will there be any secrets added to the game? Secret routes, secret scenes, and so on. Yes, eventually we want to. There's a plan to add a secret scene, uh, and then we are going to make. You're going to be able to see it in the CG room, but there will be no tip as to how to unlock it, and yeah, you have to pretty much stumble on it. It's gonna be a pretty fun scene, but we don't want to add anything else about it right now because I think it's like very unique, and it's better to stumble upon it on your own. But I already know how is it gonna play out. I've already written the entire scene in terms of how it plays out and who participates in it. So yeah, there's definitely plans to do that. Another question: when the last patch for the game, the shoulder patch, is implemented, how long after do you think it will take before the game is getting full dev stop? Like there will be properly bug fixes, quality of life patches, and other. Do you expect those to last months after the completion of the game? We don't know yet, but as soon as the shoulder patch is finished, we're going to be working on Fleeting Iris 24/7. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna play the game, the whole game, every single route, every single scene. We will take notes on everything that we want to change, and then we're going to change it. That can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months, but I don't think it's going to take that much. Once Isaac and I are like full stop, depending on no one else, just fixing the game and writing the walkthrough and making all the changes that we want to make, and we won't be depending on any more routes to be added or more CGs or more bus or whatever. Once we can just focus on the game and fixing the game, I assume it's going to be it's going to be very fast because it's pretty much just play the game. So this can take almost no time, or it can take a couple weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, depending on how much do we decide to change, and how much do we want to leave already done for when we pick back when we pick Fleeting Iris back up. For instance, for the Robert Suspicion stat, if we want to make it so that the stats are already there, and then we just have to implement the story. But there's a lot of stuff that we have been wanting to implement. We already explained, such as the changing the way the events work and how you interact with events, with the little squares, with the event boxes on the floor. We want to add that to the whole game. We want to make sure that lights don't overlap. We want to make sure that we had like rainy days and lightning and all that stuff. So we're gonna fine tune the game with all the nice little details, making sure that the soundtrack all of it makes sense and all of it is consistent. Like a specific character always getting the same soundtrack. Making sure there's not a lot of stuff missing in the game. Improving a little bit of the dialogues and the events and whatnot. So it's really hard to say how long is it gonna take, but once Isaac and I have like green light to just fully fix the game, it's probably gonna be relatively fast because we want to make sure that we only release it once we are 100% sure that it's good. But it also depends because we want to add, as we explained before, the fan-made scenes. which will require the CG team to draw some of the scenes. And we might also go back and change the quality of some older scenes to look a little better. So there will be one last patch for Fleeting Iris, in which we do a lot of fixing, changing a few of the older scenes that didn't age as well. So it's hard to say how long that's going to take, but it's going to take as long as it has to take for the game to be like the best quality that we can deliver. So I don't know. It's going to be hard to say, but regarding the CG team, we're going to go like, listen, we're going to do this, and by the time we're done, what's here, it's shipping, and what's not here, we're not going to like spend time improving on it. Obviously, we're going to try to get them to improve as many scenes as we can, but we don't want to spend too much time on it. We want to move on, and we want to start working on other games, and because there's literally so much to be done. Journey Abroad is going to be somewhat easy because it's a new game, and we can start scripting from scratch and creating dialogues from scratch, and it's a new project, it's RPG Maker MV and whatnot. But for Bloodlust, we'll have to dissect Fleeting Iris and remove everything that we don't need from the game, so that we can play a pretty much a new game. But the project is already there, the scripts are already there. We will have to check what we need, what we don't. Some maps will have to be extended so that they fit the new resolution. There will be a lot of work to be done in Bloodlust, but we want to release on a very consistent manner patches so that people see how much work we have been doing in the game and all the changes that we have been doing. So it will be perfect for us if we could release like a patch every Friday, like a proof of concept, so to speak, until we can get the first patch out, in which we show everything that we've done, the dialogues, the changes to the mechanics and whatnot. We want to let people accompany the journey that is creating the game from the ground up. But we already have an idea for the first few days of the game, both in Journey Abroad and for and Bloodlust. So we will try to develop that as fast as we can. But dissecting the database is probably going to take a little bit. It's probably going to take us like a week at least, because it's pretty much just removing a lot. It's really hard. It's like going into a house and the house is, it's like cleaning up a house that is a complete mess and it has more stuff than actually fits in there, as opposed to getting a new house and just buying new furniture and just instantly placing it in the correct spot. It's a lot harder to go and try to clean up something that is a mess, so to speak, than it is to grab something from scratch and build up from that. So yeah, that's probably going to take a little bit. You want to add anything to this, since you're going to be doing a lot of this work?
No, it's okay.
Okay. How long do you expect it will be before we see our favorite girl A.M.A again after the game is complete? Depends. Do you mean see A.M.A in Alance Chronicles or in Journey Abroad? Journey Abroad, she probably won't even be on the first patch. She will show up, relatively early, but definitely not in the first patch, and she's not one of the main characters. In Journey Abroad, in Bloodlust, since she's not a main character, you will be able to see her relatively soon, but she won't be a playable character. As for Fleeting Iris coming back, I mean, you will be able to see A.M.A definitely in the Halloween patch. You will be able to see A.M.A in the Christmas patch. As for Fleeting Iris coming back, I would say probably, I don't know, probably Journey Abroad is and Bloodlust won't be as long and won't take as much to develop as Fleeting Iris. So I would estimate like probably a year and a half tops to release the game. So I would say that we will probably go back to Fleeting Iris, depending on how profitable Journey Abroad is and Bloodlust is, in between our second and third games, but maybe earlier than that. again, depending on how profitable the other games are. Because if we can get more people in the team, then we can actually work on more projects in parallel. So it's really hard to try to make an estimate of when we will be able to see A.M.A again, because it really depends on how much support we get and how bigger our team is. We keep hiring as much as we can. We already hired an animator. We already outsourcing for Scarlet Ann. All that stuff requires a lot of money. Our team is pretty big right now. We have 3 CG artists. We have 2 developers. We have actually 2 sprite artists. We have a scripter. We have animator. We have people that create like maps and whatnot. There's people that make music. There's so many people in our team right now, and money just goes. We pretty much invest everything that we get from developing the game. We just invest back, and the more money we have, the more money we have to invest, and the faster we can do stuff. But right now we already have a pretty big team, and it's being super fun to work with those people. Thankfully, we have a very professional, very competent team. In my regard, when I speak about them, I'm speaking about my opinion, and I am 100% happy with the team that we have. In all regards, our scripter is amazing. Our sprite artist is amazing. Scarlet Ann was already amazing, and it's super easy to work with her. She doesn't say a lot. I just say, listen, I need this guy. He needs to look like a jock, wear a jacket like this, and whatever. And then she doesn't even say anything. She just shows up a couple days later, and she's like, kindly judge if you want this or if you want any changes. And it's super easy to work with. And right now it's being amazing. And we just wish that they had more hours. Especially since my breakdown early this year, where I was happy to sleep 3 hours, 5 hours, and just put a lot of work into the games. And then nowadays I'm being forced. Even my body, I feel that is forcing me, because once I got used to sleeping, it feels like my body is forcing me to sleep like 7-8 hours a day. So. I just wish that they had more hours. There's so much stuff we want to work on. Fleeting Hours was also, as people called it when we started, overly ambitious, and the game is done. So
I mean, it was overly ambitious. They were absolutely right about that.
No,
we did it. But I mean, it was an ambitious project.
I don't agree, because overly ambitious just means that your ambition was too much for what you could do, and the thing is, we were able to do it, so it was just ambitious.
But we are also much better than we were like 7 years ago. So
I
think we grew with our ambition.
You're saying we're overachievers?
Yes, yes, and I mean it.
Okay, we're overachievers. I think I'm getting a little bit sick. I don't know.
It's this weather.
It's this weather. I'm probably fine. Just a little sleep and I'll be fine. Okay, let's see if Muko actually got back to answering the questions. Yeah, he's actually replying to them right now, so I'm gonna go back to it, and I'm gonna focus on another one. I'm gonna focus on something that Latex224 asked, and this question was, is there? I'm sorry.
Great question.
The nickname attached to the question is just hilarious.
As we see in Reddit, the username checks out.
And the username checks out. So Latex224 asked, "Hey Stark, my question is there any latex outfit in any of the coming games/projects?" This is kind of like, this is hard to answer. So here's the deal. There are no plans to add any latex outfit on the upcoming games/projects. However, I guarantee you that there will be latex outfits in every game/project. I hope I didn't confuse you with the answer. There will definitely be latex in the. I mean, the spies are gonna have to wear latex.
We don't know where or why.
But there will be
that yet. But there will be, like, at some point.
There will be a lot of latex, a lot of latex bodysuits. There's no plans as exactly where is it gonna fit, but I guarantee you it's gonna be there. Yeah, that's a funny question. That's a good question. Yes. Oh, Foster needs latex. I knew it was someone in chat. Athena Sykes said I. Hello, Athena Sykes. I also know that's someone else that I don't recognize by the name Athena Sykes. But
Ha, it's Athena. Ha, Sykes.
wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. A few dev questions for the next game. How often do you expect patches to drop when development has started for the new game? For when the development has started, it's kind of a tricky question. Once we get into like full development, I can tell you that we already explained that the patches will come out alternated every month. So let's say, and this is not like an ETA again, guys. We're on release it when we think it's ready, and so far, considering how much time we have left to release the beach patch plus the Shota patch plus the okay, it's Muku. I knew Athena Sykes was someone else. It's Muku. Yeah. I can tell you, I can guarantee you that we are not going to be releasing Journey Abroad or Bloodlust first patch in January, because we'll probably still be working on Fleeting Hours in January. We're still working on the beach patch, and then we are gonna work on the Shota patch, and then we're gonna do the fix / final patch for Fleeting Iris. And I don't know, all that stuff might actually take us until like February. And thankfully, what we can do is work on the other games and start getting the other games ready while we work on that as well. But once we start working on those games like full development mode, where all the menus are ready, we are just adding stuff like we are doing right now on Fleeting Iris. We're going to do it like, let's say Journey Abroad comes out in January. Bloodlust will come out in February, and then Journey Abroad will come out in March, and then Bloodlust will come out in April, and we will do it like this, like every alternated month. And yeah, that's pretty much how we're gonna add the games. You will be able to see, you will be getting a patch from us every month, but you will get it every 2 months for each game. So for Journey Abroad, you get like first month, third month, fifth month, seventh month, ninth month, and then for Bloodlust you get second month, fourth month, sixth month, and so on. So we will be releasing patches, and the plan is to release patches every month, but each game will get a patch every 2 months. So that's how we're gonna do it. That's the plan for it right now. Of course, if we are not gonna be like, if we're still lagging behind on Bloodlust and we already have the patch for Journey Abroad ready, we're not gonna hold up the patch for like a month just for the sake of hitting the right moment. We're just gonna release the patch. So some might come out earlier and some might come out later than that. We're gonna try to give ourselves reasonable amounts of time to do the patches. But it's also a really big guessing game for us right now for many reasons. First of all, we don't know how fast Scarlet N works, and we don't know if her deliveries are consistent in like, I don't know if she releases like 5 scenes in 2 months, and then in the next 2 months she releases like 10. Or I cannot just give her 10 and see like, just take your time, and then one patch comes out in 2 months and the other comes out in 4 months. We cannot do that. So we will try to ask for a lot of scenes, try to make them that they are sequential in terms of timelines, and then we just release whatever we have at the time, and we will keep doing that, and we will try to keep reasonable and consistent release dates by following that pattern. But it's hard. For first, we just started working with Scarlet N, and second, the second game as a new updated art style, and there's a lot of stuff that will not delay us, such as pubes, such as different skin tones, and all the other stuff that made scenes a lot complex and a lot harder to do in Fleeting Iris. We will not have to do that for our second game. So it will very likely be a lot faster than whatever it is we're doing right now, because we won't have to like draw the same scene in like 9 different ways. So yeah, the plan is to release it in bi-monthly every game. So if you are following Bloodlust and Journey Abroad, you will be getting a patch every month. And if you're just following one of the two, you should be getting a patch every 2 months. That's the plan. Man, these questions are taking a lot longer to reply. I thought I was like, give me like 100 questions. God damn it! I'm just trying to really squash the question to the point where
Yes.
yeah, I'm okay. No, but wait, that's not exactly what I meant. I'm just trying to not just really squash the question. Also, when will we start to see teasers for that game? Main logo, main girls, and their followers. I feel like this is for Bloodlust. So Zelme asked this question, and you will start seeing teasers when we are done with Flaming Iris, because it's the same CG team. So the CG team cannot be creating art for that while it's creating art for Flaming Iris. So that's when you will be able to start getting a lot of teasers and a lot of stuff. So yeah, I that's it. We have to finish Flaming Iris before we start working on Bloodlust, because it's literally the same team. For Journey Abroad, we've been releasing tons of teasers on
Discord.
no, on Patreon.
Yeah, and Patreon too. Yes.
Yeah, we take a lot longer to release on Discord because
Yeah, Patreons come first. Sure.
yeah. So yeah, there's that. So for Fleeting Iris, for Bloodlust, the answer is when Fleeting Iris is done. For Journey Abroad, you're already getting teasers, so it's no two. It's two types of answers. It's not the same answer for whatever. Will there be any polls for the next game? Absolutely. Fleeting Iris had tons of votes in the start, like fetishes and their stuff. Absolutely, there will be. Especially at the start, we will try to figure out what people, if people are enjoying the game, if people are enjoying the gameplay, what they want to see more, what they want to see less, and that's how you do a game that people will enjoy. You ask people what do they enjoy, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to start early on by doing a certain type of game, and then we will ask people which characters they like the most, which characters they like the least, and we will try to give some of them more spotlight depending on how much people like them, and that's gonna be it. There will definitely be a lot of polls. So for the $1 plus supporters, get ready, because the questions are gonna rain down as soon as the development starts. Will we see any forbidden fetishes in the next game, like incest, bestiality, lowly, shota, and so on? We don't have plans for it right now, but probably yes. And they will be released in the same manner that we have released the ones for Fleeting Iris. They will be released via our website. They will not be supported by, exterior platforms. We are just going to work on them, and we are going to put it there. Which one specifically, we don't know yet. But, yeah, we just want to focus on the main story for now. And as we are approaching the halfway mark of the game, maybe a little further, we can see what people like and what people want to see, and then we can just deliver based on that. But for now, we just want to focus on the main story of the game. Oh, and these questions are specifically for Journey Abroad. Since a lot of F1 Studios fans here are properly NTR fans, cheating NTR swinging, how much of this stuff will be in the game, if any at all? There will be a little bit of... Good question. There will be more in Bloodlust. Cheating, there will be actually, quite a lot. But it's not going to be cheating like, hey, we just found the character that has like a big dick and now all the girls want to fuck him. It's not like that. Like, there will be like an NTR route where this school bully slash jock treats his girlfriend like trash, and she's kind of a dickwad as well. But she meets you, and she gets like a change of heart. It starts realizing that he's kind of a douche, and pretty much you just eventually sweep her off her feet, and yeah, you kind of get back at the bully by dating his girlfriend, and eventually they break up. But there will be some NTR scenes, uh, and there will NTR can be broken down into so many different perspectives. For instance, people forget that the main character moves into a house with two characters that are lesbians. Like, one is lesbian, one is bisexual. But if you want to fuck one, I mean, they're in a relationship, they're married, so there will be cheating there, and there will be NTR there, and then eventually it's going to be accepted, and they both fall for the MC, and they do stuff three ways and whatnot. Uh, Straight incest there will not be, but there will be like inseki, which for some people that don't know, it's when people are related to you but not blood related, like fathers-in-law and sisters-in-law and stuff like that. Adoptive sisters, stuff like that. For instance, the mom of the main character is actually eventually engages in a relationship with the guy that he does an exchange program with, and yeah, you're fucking his mom, he's fucking your mom. There's a lot of NTR, there's a lot of cheating, there's a lot of feelings involved. So yeah, it's really like hard to explain how it will be delivered without spoiling the story too much. But I feel like the game is going to be very rich in terms of like the dialogues and the character personalities, because it's really hard to, when you do a podcast or when you explain something, especially if you don't want to spoil people too much, it's really hard to explain exactly what you're going for. And I know that a lot of people like to praise my writing in Fleeting Iris, and I know there's a lot of people that shit on my writing on Fleeting Iris. But the thing is, when I'm writing for Fleeting Iris, I know that we are drawing in an Eastern style, and the game feels like an anime, a slice of life type of game, and I have to make the dialogues reflect that. We are not exactly trying to write the dialogue of how two grown-ups or two adults will talk to each other. There has to be some fluff, and there has to be some sort of writing, some specific type of writing that actually fits like an anime style. So Fleeting Hours is an Eastern. It kind of feels like an anime where it ends up having sex. Like, I don't know a single person, and I'm 36 years old, soon to turn 37, and I never heard anyone go foo 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 in their life. In their life. I never heard ara ara. I never heard that. Never in my fucking life I ever heard that. But it fits the setting. It fits the scenario. And Fleeting Iris is written in a specific setting, in a specific manner, to fit the anime look, the anime feel, and it's pretty much like that. Whereas Journey Abroad is a more Westerner style, and I want to have more realistic dialogues, more people talking in a more realistic manner. I want to make it so that the feelings involved and the type of situations where people are, put in are everyday situations that people have to deal with. I actually hope from the bottom of my heart that some people playing Journey Abroad become better people, or even like better at having a dialogue with another person. I wanna make the main character be able to like sweep a woman off her feet by doing something other than just pulling down his pants, dropping his dick on the table, and voila. Like, I want to show how you will go exactly about getting a girl like that, and how you will have to interact to talk to a girl that is like an introvert, or talk to a girl that acts like a little bitch, or I want to create like realistic dialogues, realistic situations, and real feelings. So they're going to play very different. It's two very different types of writing. It's almost going to look like a different person writing it. but it's on purpose. It's the setting for Fleeting Hours is an anime setting, and I want to represent it as such. The influence is very obviously Eastern influence, Japanese to be even more specific, while Journey Abroad is going to be a more Western influence. The characters look more Western, and the dialogues will look more like you're watching a movie other than watching an anime. I hope I am being, I hope what I'm saying is making sense to you guys, but it's really hard to explain this without actually delivering a game and letting you guys, play it by yourselves. But I know that sometimes the dialogues and the settings in Fleeting Hours feel a little childish and whatnot, but it's by design and not by accident. Fleeting Hours is meant to follow this anime slice of life kind of goofy setting, very light. I mean, it's meant to be lighthearted most of the times, and then it
There's
has
serious moments, but the general tone of the game and the story, it's light-hearted. Yes,
exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, sometimes we shit the bed and we burn people alive, but
They deserved it.
exactly because getting burnt alive
Because
is
even cute people like A.M.A can like snap if you push them,
yeah. Oh
to the
yeah.
point.
I mean, I wasn't. I'm glad you put that better than I did because I did.
I mean, it's always the shy kid who does the school shooting, so
Exactly.
it's never the bully.
Exactly. So yeah, it's gonna be really different games, but if you're an anti fan and if you're a fan of Evan Studios, I'm pretty sure we're not gonna disappoint you. There will be top quality anti scenes. There will be great stories and a great form of escapism to go back from work or back from school and just lose yourself for a couple hours every patch and just enjoy with a lot of it's gonna be sexy. It's gonna be worth fapping to. I don't want to be biased, but we're gonna keep the quality. We're not gonna keep the quality. We're gonna turn it up. So you'll have to see for it. That's pretty much it. I think that's all the questions by Zelmate. Wait, there's one more. This is kind of not a question, but he said, this is a very minor thing. It's more than if you go to the town hall right now and no other jobs are available except hospital, you just get to the interview. I would love to see the small logo with nurse route pop up and yes, no if you want it. Unless that was scrapped. It wasn't scrapped, it was put on hold, and we want to get back to it eventually, and we also want to make it so that the town hall is more important in the final version of Fleeting Hours, and you can get your interviews ready there. Also make one for when I.M is going to get to the pub. Also make one for I.M is going to go to the 7-Eleven, and make a menu for all those little things. There's a lot of fluff and there's a lot of quality of life changes that we want to make to Fleeting Hours that are not a priority right now. Right now the priority is story and tie scenes. Story and tie scenes. And there's a lot of things that improve the game a lot and make the game a lot more pleasing to play. But they're just not a priority right now. But we do want to get to it later. We didn't just scrap stuff out of the game for no reason. There's like 2 things that we ever scrapped out of the game, and it was creating conflicts with other stuff in the game, like script wise. That's the only things that we we completely took out of the game. We meant to later down the road re-add stuff, just a little different, a little better. Very little things we have actually scrapped entirely, and usually the reason why we did that is because it just didn't work. It didn't play nice with the rest of the game. There were like major conflicts and stuff like that, so we decided to give it the hacks. There were more questions about Journey Abroad. Okay, and we need to finish this off and then move on to Muku's questions. Will there be taken steps to accommodate Evan Studios fans, either wishes, suggestions, or ideas for whatever they might mention? Maybe. We will see.
I mean, we already talked about the polls and whatnot, so.
It's probably like having the fans be able to create their own scenes and whatnot.
Well, like we had like in the older I-tiers and Patreon.
Yeah,
right?
but usually that becomes infeasible, so it might come off as a prize, it might come off as a one-time only. We will have to see. Will all scenes be fully animated? We don't know, we think so. Our animator works fast, Scarlet N works fast. We will try. Yeah, definitely there are plans to make all the scenes animated. But again, when we say scenes, we mean scenes. Like, uh, just talking to a character or like picking up a pencil from the floor or whatever. I mean, if it's just a still, we're not gonna animate it, your character picking up a pencil from the floor.
Unless you guys want the game to have like 50 gigabytes and take 10 years to make,
Exactly.
we can't do that.
Exactly.
That's not
But all the entire scenes are planned to be animated. Yes. How many scenes will I am in with A.M.A we will see? Somewhere between 3 and 6. That's it. A.M.A is not a main character. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Somewhere between 3 and 6.
I mean, if you want to see Intentions with A.M.A, there's this great game called Fleeting Iris. You should play it.
I thought you were going to say something, and I was like, listen, if you guys want to see more scenes with A.M.A, the answer is actually quite simple. When the polls arrive, and we ask which is your favorite character, if your favorite character is A.M.A, you know, check the box that says A.M.A, and A.M.A will be seen more times, and that's what the polls are for.
No, but for real now, A.M.A already had like a game of her own with literally hundreds of hentai scenes.
Hundreds.
And the new games will have more than one main character. In fact, one will have like two
main characters,
girls.
10. The other two.
And the other one will have like 10 girls. So I think, from the perspective of a person that will play those games and enjoy it, I wanna see more of the new characters that I haven't seen before, because only then will I know if I like them or not.
Definitely.
I've already seen a lot of A.M.A, and as a wise man once said, new is always better. And Stark almost spilled his water over his computer.
So finally we can get to the Muku questions, and yeah, Muku also said, you sound sick. I've been feeling sick. I've been feeling tired. And yesterday, the reason why I didn't do the podcast on my own was I was just exhausted. It didn't feel like there were a lot of people online. So when I fell in bed, I was like, man, I'm just gonna let myself go. So I just went to bed at like 4 p.m. and I slept till like 9 p.m. and it felt amazing. Else I feel like I will actually be sick today, instead of just down and a little, you know, obstipated. What do you say when you're? It's not constipated, because constipated is a Portuguese word, but in English it means that you can take a shit.
You have the sniffles.
I have the sniffles. Yeah, but I feel fine. I feel fine. I don't feel tired. I feel like I'm ready to work. It's fine. It's just, you know, it's 6:30 p.m. But I'm fine. I feel fine. I just don't sound or look fine, if that makes any sense. So the questions for Muku was, how exciting are you to work on a bit different kind of scenes and artwork for the next game? I don't know if Muku wants to get on. And Atina Sykes, are you on? Do you want to answer these questions yourself? Do you want to get on the Discord call? If not, I can, you know, just read what you replied. But if you want to get online, it's a lot better to hear the answer from you other than me just writing what you wrote. Because this is funny, because Muku told me, hey Stark, I'm sorry I just woke up, my sleep schedule is really screwed up. Even if it isn't, bro. I never know when you should be asleep or when you should be, you know, awoke, because
I don't even know. Do they have daylight saving time?
I don't know, dude. They're in the Philippines, we're in Portugal, it's not even close. Not even close. If it was in Spain, I will be like, dude, that's weird, but it's in the Philippines. If he said right now it's midnight, I will believe him. If it said it's noon, I will believe him. That's you know, I will believe him.
I also have absolutely no idea.
What time do you think it is in the Philippines? Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. My voice is a bit groggy right now. If that's not an issue, it's not an issue. Just get on Discord and you can reply this on your own. What the fuck did I just do? Oh, okay. I just closed the window that was already open. Okay, Muku. Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins. Get in the voice chat. So here's what we're gonna do, Muku. Oh no, my voice is a bit groggy right now. If that's not, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. Muku, we're gonna need you to use push to talk, else I'm gonna be hearing myself on the stream. But here's the thing. Let's do this.
The delay is huge. It's like 30 seconds.
Hello.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you the question.
Hello.
I need, okay, give me a second. I need you to mute the stream, okay? Else I'm gonna be hearing myself and I'm gonna hear your answer twice.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you the questions, and I need you to answer to them. In real time.
In a fashionly manner.
All right.
Okay, the first question that Zelmate asked was, "How excited are you to work on a little bit of a different kind of scenes and artwork for the next game?"
I'm actually very, very stoked, pumped for the next game, Max Dark. In fact, I'm actually doing some practices in the sides that I'm probably going to show you that you can possibly show to people.
Oh, okay. You're gonna show me something that I can show our fans.
Yeah, inside. It's not gonna be instant because I'm still focusing on the this current patch, but I'm gonna show it to you soon.
Okay, okay. Okay. So yeah, it's there's no better way to show how excited you are for working on something, and than just actually delivering art and letting them see for themselves your new changes, the improvements that you said you wanted to make.
Yeah, like I'm really happy to do those things differently on the second game.
Yeah, that kind of ties up with the next question that Zelmate asked, which was, will there be any new styles or methods used on the new scenes for artwork? It could be more animations, or perhaps stuff like the busts are animated, or busts are different now, whatever new stuff you will show us.
Yes, the bust will be very different. I'm going to not make it so static like in Fleeting Iris because it's going to have movements. But as for animation, I'll try my best to learn that because that's not yet my forte.
Yeah, I was going to say that when animation is kind of like more my area, since I need to pick up your stuff and figure out what I actually want animated and actually send to the animator. The animator is not on right now, but I can tell that the definitely Bloodlust will be a lot more animated than Fleeting Iris was, because Fleeting Iris only really got animated towards the end, and
Yeah.
Bloodlust will not be like that. Depending on how big the patches are, if it's just like a small scene or like an S slap or whatever, even those you might animate. Our animator is so good and he works so fast. But he also has to improve. The animations feel a little stiff because there's only so much you can do with like 16 frames. Sorry. There's only so much you can do with 16 frames. But I think even that will improve down the road. So yeah, there will definitely be a lot more animations on Bloodlust that there will be on Fleeting Iris.
I'm actually excited to also try out to do the one in-game battle sprites or not battle sprites but when what they do
No,
it kind of like one games the one where you see the character in a battle pose.
yeah, we here are especially since we're more considering like Butakoma, the last game that he released. We are super excited to see those, especially since those look so good and they don't take a lot of animation, they don't take a lot of effort. They look amazing, and they definitely make the battle a lot more pleasing to do.
Yeah, I'm excited to really do that one because Iron Age stuff I like to do like uh, intense poses.
Oh,
Like
you're talking
uh,
about like cut-ins and cutscenes in the battle, like special attacks.
yeah, but also there are standing sprites. I don't know if that's the right word for it.
No, I know what you mean. It's like a 2D sprite, like a fighting game 2D side character. Like you see,
Yeah,
yeah, you see the character sideways, and she does those little moves and those little attacks, and you can even have some sex scenes like groping and restraining in those settings. And yeah, we are definitely looking forward to that. And one of the biggest reasons why we were worried coming into Bloodlust is that we didn't have an animator for a long time. We were so actively looking for one. We were talking with other devs, and most of them were like, "Yeah, my animator is super busy. I cannot give you his number." Blah 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 blah. Until we were actually approached by an animator. Actually, we weren't approached. Someone just did like a fan scene animated for our game, and then he actually animated one of our scenes. It was amazing, but we were actively looking for animators, and it was really hard to find competent ones. And when we finally found them, we were like, yes, we can move on to Bloodlust. We can finally animate these scenes and whatnot. It's definitely going to be a lot cooler because the beach patch, people already seen some animations. Sadly, our second big animation was going to be in the photo shoot, but it did animations with like 150 panels. They looked amazing. Not gonna lie, they looked amazing. I should actually post that somewhere sometime. It's just yeah. The reason why I did not release those yet is that it's a little hard to upload them anywhere. I will probably like I cannot upload them on YouTube. I cannot upload them on any street. I cannot upload them on any stream platform like Twitch or YouTube or whatever because it's banned instantly. So we're probably gonna need like either Pornhub or whatever and upload it there. Yeah, and it's probably what we're gonna have to do because we do want to show that to the scenes that did not make it because they were way too big. But and there's also that the scenes are way too big. I think that they took like, if I'm not mistaken, they took like half a gigabyte per animation. It was pretty insane, but they looked amazing. I still have them on my computer, and I do plan to release them eventually. But with that being said, the beach patch is going to be the first one where the scenes are actually animated. There's actually a bunch of animated scenes, and it's not just like a silhouette sex behind shower curtains. They are actually animated scenes, and we already have 4 of them. We're going to move into 5 very soon, and they are looking amazing. So yeah, we are super excited to start animating our games, and yeah, it will also mean that once we pick Fleeting Aries back up, a lot more scenes will be animated. So yeah, we're super excited for that. And the Halloween is probably going to get a lot of animations as well. Man, we have so many good things ahead of us. So we just gotta buckle up and put in work, and that's it. We just gotta put in work. Okay, I'm sorry that Tiger Lila could not be online for to give her reply to the questions. Um,
She's sleeping. It's 12 a.m.
yeah, what time is it?
No, no, it's wait. Let me check the time.
He doesn't know.
I,
How will we know?
no, I'm checking my Digivice. It's 2:41 a.m.
Okay, so it's 2:41 a.m. there. So yeah, Jesus, yeah, it's funny because then our animator is like our animator I think is like Belgian, and then our sprite artist is American, and I don't even know where Scarlett Ann is. She can be like from Canada or whatever. I don't know. We have people in like so many different places in your. I think Black Mage. I don't want to say where he is because I don't want to I don't have that type of confidence with him where I can just be. But he was North Europe and now is like close to Russia. I'm not gonna mention the country, but he's living there somewhere. Everybody's like in different places, and it's really hard to with our schedule to actually have meetings and be able to discuss the game. But we found a way to do it for 7 years. So here's to 7 more.
Well, that's the thing where I kind of like I work at night times because it's much quiet, and around afternoon or 3 p.m. my time I start falling asleep, and that's when uh, I shut down.
Yeah, I
But
used
I
to
need
do.
to correct that.
Sorry, go, keep going.
I just need to correct that. That's all.
I used to do the same thing for the same reason, but it's kind of weird because at some point Isaac was working on the office during the day, and I was working during the night. And yeah, I will wake up generally about time for him to leave, and I will go to sleep. Like it will arrive in the morning. I will be like, "So here's the work you gotta do today. Bye. I'm going to sleep." I'm not joking. Swear to God, this happens so many times. It will just show up. I will be up for like an hour explaining this is what I did last night. This is what I needed to do. have a good way at work, and then I'd leave. Yeah, this happened way too much. But then obviously it was right. I was wrong because then I had to. I have a family. I have a girlfriend.
And now a cat.
And now a cat, and I cannot just have like whatever schedule I decide to have.
Yeah, but your cat can.
My cat usually tries to mandate whatever the fuck happens here at the house. That's why sometimes I'm super tired because she doesn't give a fuck about my sleeping schedule.
You don't own me.
Yeah,
I own you.
yes. And now I can no longer go to sleep at 10 a.m. That's not a thing. It's not a thing. But yeah, man. Listen, at the end of the day, what matters is we're all super excited to work on the new projects. We want to wrap this up. We want to finish Fleeting Iris on a big note. Great patches. We want to make all the fans of Shota justice, and we know how long a lot of you have been waiting for the patch to come out. People have been throwing money at the screen, like, please put this patch away ahead of every other patch, and we're like, it doesn't work like that, and it's finally gonna come. We're going to take as much time as it takes for it to be released, but we promise you, as we have done so far, when it comes out, it will be worth it. Alright, Muga, do you want to say goodbye to the people?
Yeah, I'm going to do some corrections on Tiger Knights project right now. So, yeah, thank you for having me, guys.
It's always a pleasure.
I'm sorry if I sound sleepy.
I sound sick, so it's not a big deal.
But know that I'm really, really excited, and I'll show it soon.
Okay, I'm sure people are looking forward to it.
Mm.
Alright, Muga, take care, dudes. Talk to you very, very soon.
Sure, Sark. Take care as well. And everyone, take care.
Isaac, do you want to give a big, probably, we'll see. You want to...
You missed the question.
What
In
question?
the YouTube chat from
I
Foster.
missed it. Oh my god.
Foster. It's like
Okay, start Isaac. I'm sorry. Foster, aka Latex22224, asked, Stark Eisen, you can only choose one character. What character you see yourself most like from the game? I'm gonna, go ahead, take your time. We have 14 minutes. Give a good answer. You can pick a girl, by the way.
I can pick a girl.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Was that? Why wouldn't I be able to pick a girl? I'm sorry.
Take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. I don't know. Just do you?
Okay, the character I like the most from the game. I'm assuming we're talking about Fleeting Iris. So,
No. That was not a question. The question was, what character do you see yourself most like from the game?
Most like from the
No,
game.
it's-
I get it. Oh,
The question is more
Oh,
like
again.
which character do you relate to? Do you feel related to? Like which character you
okay.
feel?
That's completely different from what I thought about.
Aaron. I mean Latex. If I'm
Yeah, you're probably right. Now that I'm reading it again. Okay, sure. Okay, the one I relate to more, it's
That's why I said you can pick a girl.
probably. What? I don't. All the girls in the game are sluts. The fuck you talking about?
Dude,
I would say probably Ralph, given his backstory, his motivations, his character, and everything. I think it's probably Ralph. It's also one of my favorite characters, and as Stark mentioned, we'll see more of him in the future in another game. So there's that. And Stark.
I don't know. Listen,
What's the character in the game more like you, and why is it then?
probably the dog. Doesn't give a shit. Just eats all day and then yells at people. I don't know. Listen, it's really hard because all the characters have a little bit of me.
Oh yeah, we actually talked about that like once, like a year ago or something. This is true, by the way. We had discussions about this, like, but this part of the story, or this part of this background, or this part of this personality was me when I was like in this situation, this time of my life, at this age. This is absolutely true. I can confirm. All our main characters have a little bit of Stark in them.
So yeah, all of the characters have a facet of me or a facet of what I had at some point. I think that the character that looks the most like me right now is probably Clark, but then Melvin when he snaps. No, it's really hard because I was actually meant to be in the game. I was actually meant to be a character in the game, and then you will be able to actually see my true personality, which is very different from my personality online. It's very different from my personality on Discord and whatnot, because I don't have the same type of confidence. I'm just joking around, and I don't expect people to take me serious when I'm talking online. I feel like a lot of times where it feels like people are getting insulted by what I say, or people are taking stuff that I say too personally. To me, it's sad because there's a 99% chance that I'm joking around. It's really hard to be myself in a place that I really don't know the people, and people can be whoever they want, and people can be catfishing me, and people might just be trying to be people pleasers and might actually not enjoy me as a person and pretend they do. So it's really hard. There's only a handful of people online that I'm able to be more of myself, so to speak. But in game, I don't know, I feel like I'm a reserved person, but outgoing, and I don't know, I feel like there's so much Jack, there's so much of me in Jack, and there's so much of me on the reserved side and trying to keep it on a dark note and not letting people know about their life in Ralph. And there's so much pervy of me on Melvin, and there's and and yeah, I've been a fucking blonde bimbo. I'm not gonna lie, I've been a blonde bimbo. I feel like there's so much of me in Robert. There's so much of me on Adriana, on that part of the route where Adriana actually realizes this guy is actually a douchebag, is not what I want for life, and starts falling for Robert. So the answer is obviously Fujiko. I see myself the most as Fujiko. No, it's really hard to say which character I relate to the most, because in a sense I relate to all of them a little bit and to none of them, because I try to accentuate their flaws a lot, and I try to accentuate their pros a lot.
I mean, it's a game. You have to make that plot like interesting.
So I am somewhere in the middle of being everyone. You see the mid of everyone. I'm like somewhere lost in all those characters. I'll probably must be like our man, having my girlfriend in a latex catsuit. That makes total sense. Story wise, I will probably be Sam, the guy that got hit and has no fucking idea what's happening. It's really hard. It's really hard to say which character I relate to the most.
Let's just say that all characters were created at Stark's image.
Yeah,
kind of like humans and God.
Am I not that? See, I was gonna say, am I not a what do you say? Am I not a merciful God? Whatever.
Are you talking about like the Persian king in the 300 movie?
I'm not. Yes.
Yes.
Am I
not a
not
merciful God?
A merciful God. So yeah, I'm a merciful God. I made all characters equally shitty. But yeah, you are like a Ralph, but you're kind of like a Clark, where you're like reserved like a Ralph, but then when you snap, you're kind of like Clark. You just go, motherfucker, who the fuck are you talking to? Grab a gun.
Yeah, but we have never seen Ralph snap. I mean, so far. So
he should have snapped when he saw fucking.
I guess we don't know.
I guess his disappointment was bigger than his anger when he saw.
Also, he had a lot to lose if he snapped, so that's very relevant.
True. I still think that he should snap. I feel like when Melvin asked him to go to the hotel and A.M.A and Melvin were having sex and Ralph shows up, I think his disappointment was bigger than his anger.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's the reason why he did not snap there. It's because I feel like the character will be, given its backstory, more disappointed in that moment than it will be angry. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the answer. There's a little bit of me on every character, as it should, and Isaac relates the most to Ralph. So yay, there we go. I hope we gave you the correct answer and a few laughs.
Maybe in a future game there will be like a Stark and an Isaac character.
So far, yeah,
maybe.
I definitely want to do that. But I feel like the characters that I drew for Journey Abroad have less about me in the character and more how I envision certain people to be.
I see. Okay. I see.
You know,
I get it.
I do feel like that. Like I was able to create characters that are more, not me for Journey Abroad, because the kid, it's gonna be like, what game will you have at the age of 16? He has to be like awkward and whatnot, and I'm gonna try and create characters that probably will not look a lot more like me. In Fleeting Iris, there's a lot of jokes and a lot of mannerisms and other things that I feel like the characters do have just a little bit of me. You hear the character say that, you're like, if you know me, you're like, of course he said that. And Journey Abroad is not gonna play like that at all. So yeah, this was like 7 or 8 questions, and I thought like, nah, just give us 100 questions. We're gonna answer like a question every 30 seconds, and yeah, it definitely was enough to do a full podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast.
It was good. It was good.
It was very fun to me to do. Next week, if you guys want to make more questions, there will be a podcast. If not, we're gonna focus on just releasing the podcast when we release the game, which is just around the corner. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are fine in more than one way. I hope you guys are healthy. I hope you guys are happy, and I hope all your goals are being achieved. And I wish the very best for all of you. Have a nice Friday. Have a nice weekend, and I'll see you guys very soon.
See you guys.